1 out of 7 folks or women in the sandwich generation, 1 out of 7 are helping both their kids and their parents at the same time with some
Yeah.
sort of material help.
Yeah. And that brings up an interesting point that you say at the same time, because if we can build wealth and benefit simultaneously, that's a good thing. If we can get more than
Mhm.
one turn on every dollar, how about we use it for retirement on our left side of the page and for long-term care on the right side if it's ever needed? Or if it's not needed, it'll
Mm.
continue to grow at the maximum rate that we can find in the world, because we're going to check every place in the world that's guaranteed.
What if the best chapter of your life hasn't even begun yet? What lies within you is the power to live brighter, bolder, and truer than ever before. So welcome to Vivatude, where caregiving, connections, and career come into balance, and where your vitality, vision, and voice shines through. Because the revolution isn't out there, it's already within you. Welcome to Vivatude.
This is Kate Phillips. Welcome to Vivatude. I am your financial and occupational wellness host, which means we are talking about purpose and prosperity. I have an amazing guest today, and we are going to be covering some really key financial concepts. Caregivers have an incredible amount of uncertainty in their lives. Many of them are actually putting out money to help support a parent or a loved one that they are helping out. The average caregiver is spending $7,200 per year. And meanwhile, they may also be turning down promotions at work, turning down even hours that they could be working. Some of them are leaving work in order to care for a loved one. And we're going to be talking about today with Scott McRae, not only how you can establish guaranteed lifetime income and you can decrease all of the unknowns in your finances. We're also going to tackle a topic that a lot of people are sort of lost of what to do with. We used to have these long-term care policies that people would buy. And if you've shopped for one recently, you know that they aren't what they used to be, that the benefits have really shrunk. And rightfully, a lot of people also don't want to invest in something that they may or may not need or use. So we are going to be tackling all of those topics today. My guest is Scott McRae of the McRae Agency. Scott has been helping people for 35 years with their finances. He is a retirement income specialist. He deals with guaranteed lifetime income, not only for solo folks, but also for couples, so that it is guaranteed joint lifetime income. He's an expert with life insurance, with annuities, with mortgage notes, with real estate, and with savvy financial strategies. And he is a master also of the financial software and calculators, where his specialty is really mapping out exactly what you can expect in your finances and how you can install guarantees. Welcome, Scott.
Thank you, Kate. Good to be here.
It is great to have you. And I want to start by just acknowledging something here. A lot of our audience is, folks who are caregiving, and you have been involved in that process and recently lost your mom. I just want to say, first of all, that very, very sorry for your loss. And you've mentioned that you and your brother, and I think it was your brother's wife, that you
Yeah.
were very involved with helping her in her recent years.
Yeah. Stephanie came in. Well, Tim and I did, because we were able to work together as brothers. And then Stephanie, my sister-in-law, had worked for a nursing care facility in the admin department before. So she knew how to qualify for Medicaid, how to spend down, what we had to have in a trust previous, things like that. So it made a lot of sense to have someone like that on your team. So if you have someone in your family like that, it would be tremendous. But there's also other people, other facilities, other groups that can help you with that too and support.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about the guaranteed lifetime income because, as I mentioned, caregivers have so many uncertainties in their lives. The last thing they want to be doing is worrying about a stock market crash. And for some people, that means maybe building a CD ladder, or it means maybe they are getting, some treasury bonds or that kind of thing. But we know right now that we are in an environment where we are going to be seeing those rates going down. We've already had Jerome Powell lower them once, depending on when you are listening to this. We may be into our second or our third round of lowering interest rates. So, how do we prepare in an environment where those rates are going down? And if people don't want to take the risk, do they just have to simply put up with the fact that they're going to be earning less?
Well, it's interesting when we do a composite for people, we look at all their expenses, not just for the long-term care for mom and dad, because a lot of people are living with their parents living with them, and they're taking care of them. So if we can actually repair some of the assets they have or convert some of the assets they have and look at it and say, if nothing changes, this is what you have, and we have a CD at 4% right now. What if it goes to 2? It's not just a
Hmm.
2% decrease, that's a 50% decrease.
Yes, yes.
So,
I remember when I couldn't even get 2% on a
oh, I
CD not
know.
that many years ago.
Yeah, and it's interesting. There's also things with annuities, mortgage notes that are fully collateralized mortgage notes. They're not just like a REIT or something like that. Real estate building for rentals, that you could use that rental property money for taking care of your parents or whoever you're taking care of. There's life insurance that have benefits as well. And that is huge if we get into it early enough. So when we look at what you've got, we look at a present plan model. If we don't change anything, this is what it will be. And it's verifiable.
Mhm.
There's no guessing, there's no sales hype, there's no opinion. If I don't change anything, this is what we'll have. Is that enough for what we need? Is that going to
Yeah.
take care of mom and dad? And what about our retirement too?
Yeah, what about our retirement? Because that's one of the things that definitely gets challenged when,
Yeah,
especially, the sandwich generation that oftentimes we are helping out our parents. We're also helping kids, whether they're at home, they're in college, or even out on their own. We're sometimes still helping them out. One of the statistics I've run across is that 1 out of 7 folks or women in the sandwich generation, 1 out of 7 are helping both their kids and their parents at the same time with some
yeah.
sort of material help.
Yeah, and that brings up an interesting point that you say at the same time, because if we can build wealth and benefits simultaneously, that's a good thing. If we can get more than
Mhm.
one turn on every dollar, how about we use it for retirement on our left side of the page and for long-term care on the right side if it's ever needed? Or if it's not needed, it'll
Mm.
continue to grow at the maximum rate that we can find in the world, because we're going to check every place in the world that's guaranteed. So at
Mhm.
certain ages, the market is good. We all love the market, but at certain ages, we have to look at it and go, what's the worst case scenario? Worst case scenario is the market drops. We
Yeah.
lose our principal. We lose
Or
the
worst
engine
case,
that's throwing off the interest. So,
yeah, or the worst case scenario could be interest rates dropping down to 2 to 1%, to
right.
where
So
they
if there's a way
can.
we can combine the two, which there is, and it's verifiable to where here's the income you're guaranteed for you and your wife for the rest of your life. And if you don't spend it all, it goes to your kids. However, if one of you needs long-term care, then they're going to double that income for you for that person in the long-term care facility. So if you're talking about 50,000 a year, now it's 100. And it's a
Now
guaranteed contract.
say a little more about that. But I'm going to correct you on one thing. You said for you and your wife. Well, it could be
Or
for
it could
you
be
and
you
your
and your
husband,
husband.
right?
That's true. That's true.
We're talking to a lot of women here on the
That's
channel.
true.
So
I'm sorry. You and your spouse. Good point.
you and your spouse or your partner.
Or your partner. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But the main
Exactly.
thing
So,
is it's a contract.
mm,
So we know that we have retirement income taken care of. We have long-term care taken care of. We have benefits taken care of on a guaranteed contract. Now we can focus back on how much is left that we can play with. Or do we want to play
mhm.
with that? Do we want to invest in other things that are secure? So we test the waters, we balance the scale depending on your age, and we look at what really is possible, what benefits are possible, what is really important to you. Do we secure this first, then we go there? Or do we just hope
In
it
other
works
words,
out? And if
do
it
you
works out, we can
secure
secure that.
income? Do you secure income before you look at taking some risk on growth? Is that what you're speaking of there?
Exactly, because I'm 62. At this
Mhm.
point, I can't stand the thought of losing everything. I can't, and whether that's on long-term care bills, whether it's on medical, whether it's in market losses, whatever it might be, I want to be protected from that. So
Yeah, yeah.
if we're building a wealth around a moat around your wealth or a moat around your castle, that's what it's there to do. Is protect you from all oncomers, all kind of any kind of risk that you have. So,
Yes.
when we get together, that would be the thing to do. Or Kate, you and I can talk about their case. We can do it together and you present it to them, whatever. It'd be free to them.
Well, what you're speaking about here is taking the risk out of it, but then also what I'm hearing is that you're also allowing people to continue to build wealth while we ensure that they're not going to go to, close to zero or lose
Right,
everything.
right.
And with that, we're going to go to break. We'll be right back here on Vivatude.
And thanks for listening to Vivatude. 4 hosts, 1 each week. We help you revivitude your next chapter because purpose, passion, and prosperity isn't out there. They're already within you. Brighter, bolder, truer. Vivatude.